All right, so welcome back, guys. So in a previous video, we talked about how to place a limit order and close out an order, an open position using the market order on the market depth, as well as how to place a limit order and close out a limit order on the market depth. So now what we'll be focusing on how you can set a stop order on the market depth, along with how you can set a stop limit order and a trailing stop, right? So let's begin. So in this case, let's use a different stock here. Let's use Tesla. Tesla is a very common stock that everyone knows. So here we're using Tesla, right? And the first thing we'll be doing is we'll be opening an order of, let's say, 10 shares just for practice. And we'll be opening a market order just for practice here of test on Tesla. So we now open a trade on Tesla to go long 10 shares, right? And what we want to do here is we can set a stop on Tesla. So we're long Tesla at 249.22 cents. So we'll move the price to at least, let's say, $200, 249, 249. Okay, 249 and 2 cents, right? And we would now place sell. So what this is saying is that if Tesla, and you can also adjust it by pressing this and bringing it down to move it away when you open the trade, and then you would press OK. That will now modify the sell order in the open trade. So what this basically does is, say for example, you go long Tesla, you can now set the stop loss, and then you can adjust the stop loss once you're in the trade by selecting this icon and dragging it down. Now, what this basically is doing is that it's open a stop market order. So basically you have a sell order. Once the price gets to 249.02, it's going to trigger a market order. So it's going to be filled at any price the market is selling at that point in time. So that is how you set up a market or a regular stop order on using the market depth, right? If you have a long position. And the opposite would be the case if you have an open position. You would just open a long position to cover if you have a short position on Tesla. Now I'm going to cancel that, and our next example will be showing you how you can set a stop limit order. Now, if you notice, both of these are highlighted because a stop limit order is basically saying that once the price gets to that level, or once it gets to that level, it's gonna fill at the limit order at the next price. So in this case, we have the stop order here, which is 249.30, right? And then we will have our limit order. Hold on. Let me cancel that. Oh yeah, we'll have a limit order here at 249.22, right? The price is currently at 249.21. We have 249.22, so we have to move this down a little just to show you. Let's move it quite a little bit down. So this is 248.84, and now we'll have to set this at 248.81, and now we'll sell. So what this does, it creates a stop limit order. So once it gets to that market order, then it's going to be triggered at the limit order when that gets triggered. And that is how you would set up a stop limit order. Now, it's pretty simple. Now we're going to cancel both of those, and just same thing, you could adjust those as well. You could have those adjusted, yes, and then you would just bring this here and it automatically adjusts, yes. And you could just keep, because both, yeah, you could just keep those together. Now we're gonna have that canceled. You could cancel the stop order, and then it would just cancel both, right? Now we'll be also testing it for the trailing stop. Now for the trailing stop, the offset is, you can set it at whatever you want. The offset here is 1 cent. So we will put it at 50 cents because the ATR on Tesla, but we're going to put it at 50 cents, and we already have the open position, so we're just working with that open position, and we would sell, and there we would see our trailing stop. Now we can also adjust that in the trade by selecting that icon and dragging it down, and then you would just select yes, and it shows you here your order. Now this is a trailing stop, and that's basically the offset is set to 50 cents. Now we could cancel all, cancel that order there, and then we could just press this X icon to close out the open position. Now that is how you set up a how you set a stop order, a stop limit order, and a trailing stop using the market depth, right? And for most of you guys who would like to change the validity to from day to GTC, the only option you're not able to change the validity on is the market order, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and you learned something today as it relates to how to use the market depth to place trades, how to close out trades, and how to set a stop limit order along with a limit order and trailing stop. Thank you.